All right, guys, welcome back to Athletic Everyday. Day number 54. I'm excited to give you this video because it is first day of my new upper body training program. One I've kind of written for myself to focus on different things, but I've just finished a 5-week cycle focusing on strict press or overhead press, front lever, and muscle ups. So alterations I've made to this program is instead of doing strict press now, I've transitioned into doing push press so that I'll have more carryover into my Olympic lifts. My intention with doing the strict press was just to build a little bit of vertical pushing strength from a dead stop in the strict press position. So going from a dead stop on the front right position. And now I'm trying to add a little bit of power into that, push a little bit more weight, and see if I can get a push press PR by the end of this program. My current push press PR is 100 kilos, I believe. So anything sort of 5 or 10 kilos above that, I'll be really, really pleased with. And that will obviously translate quite nicely into my split jerk. That's my thinking anyway. To alter the muscle ups, as you see here, I decided to do my first ever weighted muscle ups, and they went really well. I've been really working on my muscle up form at the moment. I'm trying to get it as clean as possible. Really trying to make sure my body stays straight and tight. And plus 5 kilos didn't actually feel like it was that much more difficult than doing it body weight, to be honest with you. So I decided to go up to 7.5. But the trouble is that this rope or nylon winch hook cum weight belt makeshift thing that I use, the hooks are actually too big to fit through the hole in the center of the plate, so I had to put the weights in my pocket with the 1.25s. So it's a 5 in the middle and then a 1.25 on each side to go up to 7.5 kilos on these muscle ups. And I did 3 sets of 3. And to be honest with you guys, it felt really good. I'm pleased with my form on these. It was a little bit more sort of momentum-y, trying to get a bit more kipping than it would be, but that's to be expected if you're adding 7.5 kilos to your muscle up. Then these push presses, I think they went quite well, to be honest with you. I think at the end of my weightlifting program, I was doing 80 for triples at the very end of the last cycle of the training program. And I did 6 sets of 3 with 80 today. There was only 1 rep where I failed. The dilemma I have with with push press at the moment is I'm thinking of the force velocity curve, and obviously strength movements require your muscles to put in more force. When I say muscles, I'm talking about upper body only. But when you're doing push press, you're obviously using a lot more power from your lower body. So it can vary quite greatly how much force your shoulders are using, how much force you're using your shoulders with versus with your legs, depending on how much you actually push with the legs. Obviously, you're supposed to get some force from the legs, some power from the legs, but ideally I want to get a bit more, the most possibly that I can out of my shoulders, and I feel like I wasn't quite doing that today. You don't really see the sticking point in the bar till it's gone past my head. I don't know if there is a technique on push press where you can try and make it so it emphasizes the pushing with the upper body more. Perhaps I'd have to drop the weight a little bit, I don't know. But ideally, I'd like to get a little bit more pushing emphasis with my shoulders rather than just relying on my legs. Because to be honest, this weight would be really, really easy for me to split jerk or power jerk. I don't know, where would the sticking point be if you were doing a push press? Let me know in the comments. But overall, I felt like this went well. And what you're seeing here also is when I'm lowering that weight on the eccentric portion, I'm trying to go as slow as I possibly can to make sure that I'm getting as much volume and intensity through the pushing muscles. Obviously, when you lower the weight down in a slow and controlled fashion, there's no power coming from the legs. It's all shoulders. So whatever I lack in power from the upper body in the concentric portion when I push the weight up, I'm definitely making up for that in eccentric overload when I'm lowering the weight nice and controlled. Because I definitely couldn't strict press this weight, but obviously I can lower it in as slow and as controlled fashion as I possibly can. So yeah, 6 sets of 3 on push press, really felt like they went well. Then I finished up with some front lever raises. So I'm still training for front lever, but I decided to add a bit of variety to my program. So previously, when I was training front lever, all I would do is front lever holds and then occasionally a front lever raise. But I've decided to split it up into 3 different days because I'm training front lever 3 times a week now, and I have been for the past 5 weeks. What I'm going to do instead is On the first day, I'm going to do front lever raises with as good a form as I can, ideally with a full front lever. Whatever I can't do with the full front lever, I'm then going to go into the straddle, and then whatever I can't do with the straddle, I'm going to do with the tuck front lever or advanced tuck front lever. Ideally, I'm going to get 3 sets of 5. Once I can get 3 sets of 5 front lever raise with this form you're seeing here, that'll be really good, and that'll be a good indicator of progress, and then I can look at maybe increasing the reps or the sets. On the middle day, so the second day of the week of training, when I'm training front lever, I'm just going to do that as front lever holds as usual. That's the movement I'm going for, specific adaptations to imposed demands, and just trying to progress that as far as I can and hold it for as long as I can. And then on the third day, which is something I haven't been doing and I want to do a lot more of, is front lever negatives. Because, you know, as I said previously with the push press, muscles are much stronger eccentrically than they are concentrically. I'm not sure exactly what the percentages are. Perhaps I should do a bit of research into that. But if I can hold the top position and just lower myself slowly, then I'm getting a good amount of stimulus, particularly on my lats, but also on my core, all the muscles that you'd use for a front lever, just in a slightly slower, more dynamic way, if that makes sense. So that is what I'm going to be doing on the third day of the week with regards to front lever. Then I finished up with obviously some aesthetic topless loo raises. Usually I'm doing 5 kilos on this, but I figured why not? Let's push the boat out, go for 10 on each side. And I gotta say, these felt good. I thoroughly enjoyed doing them. My shoulders felt amazing afterwards, and I'm more than happy to continue doing this with 10 kilos from now on. And obviously, form allowing with a higher weight, you don't need to do as many reps to go to close to failure or more towards volitional fatigue. So I'm quite happy to do that. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.